What do you do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team, stand up! We got... I'm so fresh, so clean educational-ish. Hey, man, I know school sometimes can get boring, y'all, but let me remind y'all that I got y'all, man. I'm your best substitute teacher, man. You know what I'm saying? But we got a pop quiz this Thursday. You know what I'm saying? 5 questions, easy. Really short clip, you know what I'm saying? What if you were born on Mars? Now, there's been speculations that if a flight has property on Venus or not. But imagine you being born in Mars. What different stuff would you have? Would it be an advantage or not? As usual, man. If administrators walk in, make sure you hide your cellular phones, your iPhones, your Androids, your LimeWires, your pagers, your iTouches, your Nanos. They come in and take it. It's not on me. They're going to auction it off, man. Check it out.
Martians might really exist in the future, but instead of the aliens of sci-fi movies, Martians would be humans born and raised on Mars. And in this episode, you're one of them. Why would your skin be orange? Would you be a different species? And would you ever be able to visit Earth?
Facts.
This is What If, and here's what would happen if you were born on Mars. Some of our previous episodes have already looked at what it would take to live on Mars, but that's only half the story. To create a stable settlement on the red planet, people would have to start having babies. How many people would we need to create a healthy, non-inbred population?
Bro, and you know what's crazy? Like, scratch with the question just asking. Like, imagine if this technology gets to a certain point where it starts to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, like, we can go on different planets like this, like, hypothetically in the future and everything like that, bro. Like, can you imagine, like, the one wrong move? Like, let's say if you, like, fall against the glass, you know what I'm saying, and break the glass and you're in the atmosphere of that planet. Like, because you got to understand, like, because you can't breathe, like, the oxygens. That's why there's, like, human life. There's not consistent human life or no human life at all, if anything. You know what I'm saying? You know, on Mars, because the toxins and stuff. So can you imagine if you're just like playing around, horse playing and everything, you hit the glass, crack it open, and you fall through, bro. You're going to mess everybody else up, bro. But that's too much paranoia, bro.
Well, some say we'd only need 98 people, but others say we'd need a minimum of 10,000. But regardless of the size of the breeding population,
it looks like Star Wars.
It would only take a few generations before we started seeing a huge difference between Earthlings and Martians. Mars is the most Earth-like planet in the solar system, but it's not exactly like the Earth. Its gravity, atmosphere, and magnetic field would create serious challenges for human life. And challenges often go hand in hand with evolution. Children on Earth are born with up to 120 genetic mutations. Move those babies to Mars, and they would start having mutations suitable for Martian living. And those mutations would likely pass on to their children. By the time we settle on Mars, we'll probably have the ability to modify our own genes.
What?
Putting Martian evolution on the fast track. So, if you were born in the 3rd or 4th generation of Martians, you would be a lot different than you are today. But what are the main reasons why your body would change? Well, first, there's gravity. Mars only has 1/3 of Earth's gravity, so your bones wouldn't experience the same force. Your bones would lose their density and become more brittle. Breaking them would become a common issue.
Oh, that means that it's going to be hard for you to play sports, too. That's a disadvantage.
And there's the atmosphere. On Earth, you're used to a
See, the Earth is round. It's circling.
It contains nitrogen and oxygen, but on Mars, you'd be experiencing a thin atmosphere that's mostly carbon dioxide with only trace amounts of oxygen. You wouldn't be able to evolve a whole new respiratory system, but you could develop other ways of dealing with the lack of oxygen. Like it could have denser capillaries that are more efficient at moving blood and transporting oxygen to your muscles. But even with these advances, you'd still have to live underground or in a thickly insulated house to survive the harsh atmosphere. And since life on Mars would be confined to small spaces, Martians wouldn't need to be able to see far into the distance. Yeah, you would be born nearsighted. And finally, there's the radiation. Earth has a strong magnetic field that protects us from lethal solar radiation, but Mars has a weak magnetic field that's scattered along the planet. On Earth, our bodies produce melanin. It protects us from the radiation that does make it through Earth's magnetic field, but the radiation on Mars would be much stronger, and melanin just wouldn't cut it. Instead, your skin would produce carotenoids. This pigment
so that means you would poop carrots?
Carotenoids. This pigment would help protect you against skin cancer by slowing or stopping the cell cycle. Carotenoids can even make melanoma cells self-destruct. They're also what gives carrots their vivid orange coloring. Yeah, in other words, your skin would be orange.
Whoa.
So, with all these changes to your body, would you be able to visit Earth? Well, Mars wouldn't have the same type of bacteria and viruses that the Earth does. So, your immune system would be weaker than that of an Earthling's, which means Earth could be a dangerous place for you.
What?
And
they just said something, bro. They just said something right there. Like, imagine, what if Earth is actually the most toxic planet in the solar system, bro? And like all these other planets, there's like it's impossible for you to catch anything, or if anything, it's just the smallest. Like, can you imagine that? Like, what if that's, man?
And if your immune system were strong, the gravity of Earth would be too much for your brittle bones. If you were born on Mars, you'd probably have to stay there.
Bro, it's such
Humans have looked
heavy
the same
advantage
for
and disadvantage.
a very long time, but within a few generations of living on Mars, we could have orange, nearsighted humans who could survive on less oxygen. And once we successfully settle on Mars, we probably wouldn't stop there. In the future, humans could have settlements on all sorts of planets, even outside the solar system. You know, what if all aliens, whom we're so excited and terrified to meet, are just future versions of humans? Well, that's
yeah, I think this is going off the topic of that part. But bro, what would y'all prefer? Would we be born on Earth or Mars? So you gotta think of that. This is a crazy discussion, disadvantage and advantage of Mars. So if you're born on Mars, that means, or you just end up living, whatever, you have a less chance of getting sick, which means when you have a less chance of getting sick, you have obviously a higher chance of like living longer. You know what I'm saying? But your bones are gonna be brittle. So like if you anytime you want to visit Earth, like if you just like slip or something, you know, trip over your shoelace, that's it. I mean, it depends how brittle what we're talking about. But I don't know, man, because you know, I feel like at the end of the day, bro, we gotta be on I have to be on Earth. Because if you look at it, bro, I have legendary stats in sports and just the thing in sports in general. Like I can't get injured, bro. Like I have no time to be getting injured, bro. So only for that matter. See, that's the thing. If you play sports and if you don't, and if you're actually good at them, you know what I'm saying? Like myself. That's just, man. Comment down below. Straight to next man. Roll the 5.